crew member profile number 1, Arrow. Age, 37 cycles. Height, 5'6". Position, Chief Engineer Mechanic. Thank you for taking the time to sit down for this tape profile log. Please state your name and the position that you hold on this vessel.
I am Arrow, a survivor of the Talon Space-Powered Union. I serve as the Chief Engineer Mechanic for this vessel.
Thank you for that. Would you kindly tell me a little bit about yourself? And please be as open and honest as you can.
You humans really seem to focus on that a lot for your personnel files. I'd be complaining and pointing a weapon at you for looking at me as weak. But you prevented me from freezing to death, and you've been more responsive than High Command. So let it slide for now. Still, this isn't exactly something that's normally done. But I suppose nothing is on fire, so we can do this. Well, first of all, I take the work seriously here, a hell of a lot more than the rest of the lunkheads on this bloody crew, and I won't stand for anyone to say otherwise. Others seem to think they have got a bad attitude because I understand the value of my actual worth here. Are you freaking kidding me? I've got the most knowledge on this ship of the vessels, weapon systems, and technological advancements of every major race this side of the Milky Way, and a hell of a lot further on, too. I do my damn best to make sure this ship is run the best that it can, and I take it as an extreme insult that others doubt me on that. Meanwhile, the rest of these idiots don't even bother trying to adapt to any alien species we come across. I'm the only one that always has a communicator on my person, because I don't like to use other translators. If I need to say something, I'll say it myself.
Easy there. No need to be so aggressive.
You should know by now that's the norm for a lot of us. But very well. Not used to being interviewed like this. Look, the point of the matter is that my work makes or breaks me, and it does the same for a lot of us. I've been in a position where that's all that matters, and everything else needs to get shoved to the back of the line, but that's just the norm, as I said.
Sounds like you've had a very demanding work life. Would you mind explaining what you used to do before you were picked up for service here?
Picked up for service? A rather blunt but accurate way of saying you saved my ass from being frozen. A man I used to know would appreciate that use of language. But very well. I was formerly employed at the Glacier 1 outpost in Fendrana Dukes of Talon 4, working as an engineer there. Specifically, I was the chief operating manager for the entire outpost's main power grid. Electronics, heating, communications, anything and everything that connected to the main grid. Place was a pain in the ass, but it could have been worse. Most of my work was inside the base and deep within it, out of sight of most others, and I preferred it that way. Manager as I was never exactly the most social of individuals in my work, but I didn't have a choice. At least the complaints came from logs and data screens for me, and not from the face of another employee that could easily punch and get reprimanded for. I know at the time the discovery use of Phazon was a pretty big deal, but never really cared about that all, to be blunt. I was trained to be an engineer, not a biomedical operator or anything like that. I was fine with my job. Pay was acceptable, rations were plentiful, and if someone messed up, I could yell at them through a data screen and just fix problems myself. Couldn't complain. And then, she just had to show up.
I take it you mean the Hunter?
Like it would be anyone else. We all heard about what she pulled on Zebes, but at the time we were on Talon 4, a hell of a ways away, and given that we'd done a damn good job of keeping our profile low, there was no issue. She didn't know we were there, and the Galactic Federation didn't know either. Some of us even conceived of the idea that she'd be tracking us down. But of course, the idiots up at the friggin' Ophidian in the planet's orbit just had to screw it all up. I mean, it's the coincidence that honestly put us in a conflict with her directly in the first place. They were supposed to send a distress signal for space power forces only. That's the protocol. But I guess the breakdown of some of their test subjects forced them into a panic, and they instead made a general distress call. You know what? Sure. Screw it. If people are hauling ass to get out to whatever escape pods they can, might be best just hope someone else can take care of the problem. But no, it just had to be her, of all people, to answer the call. And then that ugly dragon had to be woken up from the whole place blowing up.
You don't have a positive impression on Ridley, I take it?
Me? I couldn't care less about the dude. That's Zebesian territory, man, not my kind, so I didn't really care. Still, that friggin' trashing put all of us on high alert, as we knew that it couldn't stay secret for long. And it didn't. She followed that reptile all the way down here, and eventually made her way into a place where I did have to give a shit. Right in Glacier 1.
I can't imagine what it must have been like to be in that sort of situation, where you and the rest of your ilk had to defend against her. It must have been quite stressful.
If by that you mean there's a total madhouse, you'd be damn right. Shit ran the high level across the board. Now, we were supposed to have an order of protocol to follow at our end, in the case of an attack from the Federation, or anything and anyone else. I was to hunker down and seal myself inside the main control room for the power grid, and not to leave until it was deemed safe for me to do so. And I didn't give them a choice. Whether they liked it or not, myself and those under my charge were to stay put and keep the power grid functional no matter what. That was supposed to be the plan. But as soon as that first surveillance drone sprung the high alert and everyone saw it was the Hunter from Zebes, I suddenly became the only sane engineer in the entire damn outpost. Screw the protocols, screw the Hunter. Look, I get the desire to defend against an enemy that's known to be armed and very dangerous, but we have protocols for a reason, no matter what. But glory is so much more important, so the rest of my little crew were pushing to join the front lines to defend Glacier 1. Many of them got killed in the first 20 minutes of our attack on the facility, and I did not want to be a part of that, so I did the only logical thing I could do. I sealed the doorway to the main control room off from the inside, decided to do my actual job still, and monitor the power grid as well as what's going on elsewhere in the facility. So I got a front row seat to the place sort of getting trashed. I do admit I have a small bit of respect toward the Hunter. She killed the rest of them following the battle, and I was doing a bunch of telemetroids, but aside from a few containers here and there in storage crates, she left most of the place intact. Didn't even try to take out the power grid, so she made my life kinda easy on my own. I had plenty of rations stored in the control room area, so it's not like I actually needed to leave there, so I just kept monitoring everything, doing my job, thought it would at least be easy to write it out. And then came a moment where I nearly disowned my entire race. See, we needed to develop a system for tracking thermal energy because of Project Titan outside the facility. Guess you all call them Farmers these days. But we had our primary template for said thermal visor stored in the research core, the model that all of the units are made from. I told them they needed to get a generator into its holding room to keep powering the defense shield that housed it. I explicitly told them to not tie it to the power grid because it would be stuck in a feedback loop. If the shield was completely low and the template removed, it would mess with the programming of the energy routing system and could cripple the entire power grid. A critical flaw otherwise, but that simply could be made a non-issue if provided an independent generator. Just a small one, even a portable one would have done. So guess what they didn't do, because they were too busy trying to keep the Metroids in the same lab contained. Yeah, you heard me right. Some idiot didn't follow the instructions for construction I had given on the way to the facility from a neighboring star system, so the lab they used for storage didn't just have the template and its defense shield, which itself was controlled by monitor stations within the containment room, but also Talon Metroids that had to be stored within chambers powered up with strong energy shields that kept those ugly buggers in check. Their response to all of this? Why would we need an independent generator for this one thing? We're going to hook up the containment shield into the grid anyways. Because if the thermal visor template is removed, we lose all power, you bubbling shitheads! And guess what? It happened. When the Hunter lowered the defensive shielding and removed the thermal visor template, the routing system encountered a fatal programming error that glitched the system and altered the energy routing away from the lights, leaving my ass and everyone else's in the bloody dark. We still had power to the main grid thanks to a mountain redundancy checks, but I could barely see anything. And worst of all, the rerouting disabled the safety mechanisms on the door to the main control room, locking me inside.
That certainly doesn't seem like it was an ideal situation.
That's an understatement in every way conceivable. I attempted to make contact with High Command, but it seems that my signals were being mixed in with those from the Phasor mines, and my priority was considered much less than that of the main crew down there. I figured I would just hold out the supplies I had available to me at the time. I was stuck in there for nearly a quarter of a cycle, and by the time I was able to get the lights back on and got the door system unlocked by just surging the whole power grid's energy output into it to fry the system and force it open, the Hunter was long gone, as was everyone else, both at the Glacier 1 facility and the Phasor mines. I'd been forgotten. I sent out the distress signal to get the hell out of there, but it was never answered, forcing me to hunt and survive on my own in Glacier 1, avoiding all scans from Federation when they eventually came around. Until you came, that is, and rescued me from my predicament, much as I hate to state it as such. And now that I am here, I suppose that tells the tale of how I got here.
So, with all of that said, do you think you've been able to make good use of your skills here?
Just stay out of my way, and I'll get done what needs to get done around here. I owe you a blood oath, and it shall be served first and foremost.
That's appreciated. Is there anything else you'd like to submit for the personnel file here?
Yeah. Next time someone takes my tools, I'm blasting them in the face. I have an order for a reason, so hands off! Oh, and glory to the space pirates and down at the Galactic Federation and stuff. Not really my problem.
Thankfully for you, they aren't funding this work in Vessel. End of case file for crew member Arrow.